All right, we're here again. This episode is a little dark. We're going to cover on a couple shows that we like that kind of dive headfirst into real life trauma, as in death. Death happens all around us, and it's something that is unavoidable, even though we may try to. But some of these shows that we're going to talk about are some of my favorite shows. So enjoy. All right, here we are at it again with another episode. Today I have with me Makayla. And we're going to talk about a show that we have been dying to conversate about. It is called Dead to Me. So, what did you think about the show?
Is that the ending? I need to know. Like, is Judy dead? I don't get it. Is it going to come back? And she can't just say she killed Steve and then it's over?
I feel like that was so.
I need to know.
All right.
Is there a part 2?
I don't think so. I think they ended it that way purposely because of her having issues, having MS. They probably wrote it a specific way to kind of make it not be as drawn out.
Yeah. Well, speaking of her MS,
right.
She was always sitting. If you didn't notice, like in this season, she was always sitting.
And after you said that about the shoes, I did pick that up. You'll notice it. Yeah. And they did say that she gained weight because of the pregnancy on the show. Like they wrote it in, but you could tell from the beginning. Which at first I didn't know if maybe that was because of the accident. She was swollen.
That's what I thought in the first
scene. But it definitely carried
in the first
through.
Scene, she looked so different.
Right. And it definitely carried through. So you can tell she was struggling a lot.
Yeah.
To finish the season, which kudos for that. I mean, she definitely stuck through it. Right. And that was really, I think, kind on the cast and crew and things like that to be able to write it in a certain light instead of just saying, oh, we have to cancel it or re-script a new person or something drastic. Like for them to be able to say like, hey, let's do this and we're going to make it work. I think that was a big thing.
I feel like she can't say I killed Steve and then it's over.
But that was the whole point. She was sacrificing herself.
But is she going to go to jail? Like, are they going to be happily ever after with the baby? Is she going to go to jail? Is he going to break up with her because she killed Steve?
Well, she didn't really tell him, though.
She did at the end. She said,
she said, I have something to say to you.
Oh, I thought she said it.
No. Like, she was, like, looking and, like, thinking, I feel like she got, like, a premonition, like,
well, we knew she was going to say that.
Right. So, it was definitely foreshadowed, like, she was going to tell him.
In part 2.
I don't think so. I think they left it open-ended, like, on purpose.
Yeah.
So that way people were like, oh, like, this is, like, life. Like, what would it be? So, I don't know. I don't think they will. Because, again, they would have to, like...
Get a new actor.
Right. Which I don't think they want to do.
Yeah.
So I think they did that.
And Judy's dead. So the 2 main actresses
Way to go, Judy.
I know.
Crazy.
I didn't know she was dead for the longest time.
I didn't understand at first, too. Like, the mom had the ankle bracelet on and then drove away.
Yeah.
Which I'm like... If you're just going to drive to Mexico anyways, why'd you even do all that?
Right.
Just go to Mexico.
Yeah.
The feds aren't going to follow you to Mexico.
Right.
Like, it's not like you did something really big.
Yeah.
You didn't, like, kill the president or something. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I
thought that was a little hyped up, but I guess they had to kind of wrap up the storyline with the mom as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that was, like, her
I'm confused on, like, how she died. Did she go on the boat and just sail away? Judy?
I think... it was implied she was going to die anyways.
Yeah.
So what I got from it was I'm going to go on the boat and just go far away so you don't have to necessarily go through the grief of seeing me.
Yeah.
That, like, decrepit and stuff like that, and, like, sort of deteriorating away.
Yeah.
So it was like her last gift to her friend to be like, I'm going to disappear so you can remember me in good light.
Yeah.
So I like the ending.
No, I don't like suspense. I need a part 2. I need a part 2 to the season finale.
Oh, well, I don't know. We'll see. But I like the topic of shows when they touch on things that are real.
Yeah.
Like cancer, death, because I feel like in storylines they sort of tend to sugarcoat things and be like fairy tale, like, oh, everything's great,
Yeah.
we got over it, we lived happy ever, everybody recovered from cancer. Like, that's not in real life how it
An
goes all the
addiction
time.
with the
Right.
cop and with what's his name?
Right,
Ben?
right.
Is that other twin Ben?
Yeah, the other brother.
With Ben and cop both
Right.
battling with alcohol.
And that was good. It was good to see that. Another show that I don't think that you have seen, it's called Afterlife.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Afterlife is really good.
I'll add it to
Sort
my
of that
list.
same premise of, it's Ricky Jarvis that's the main lead,
Okay.
which he's very comical. And I am high fan of British humor, like that dry, like off the cuff humor that you sort of have to be almost smart enough to understand what the catchline is. And he's the lead in the show. So his wife has died from cancer.
Okay.
Okay. And it's literally him going to work and people, being like, oh, it's sunny outside or this is a great day or whatever. And he's like, no, my life sucks because my wife died.
Yeah.
Like, sort of, again, that sort of brutal reality of, no, this is what it's like when the world keeps spinning, but you still feel incomplete.
Yeah.
Like goes through all these different emotions. It's very, very powerful. It's like only 2 seasons of it.
What's it on?
Netflix.
Netflix.
But so good. So good. It's definitely worth it. You will be crying. I was crying.
I always cry. I was crying like 3 different times in Dead to Me because I thought that. I was like, is this when Judy dies? I died 3 different times. Or died. I cried like 3 different times.
It was emotional, which I like stuff like that.
Me too. I love crying.
I mean, it feels good to cry and feel emotional and sort of get to that human level. And I like to see humanity in characters. Like something that you would really have happen. Like, when you watch shows like that, I feel like everybody can compare something to it. Like, my mom passed away a couple years ago, but like had tremendous battles with like cancer multiple times in her life, and I've known friends that have had people pass away from things, so it's refreshing to see like sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it's sad and it doesn't go your way.
To still get up and go to work and move
on. Right. And it's like really, really empowering to watch that one. And it ends with like him, he's like talking at the gravesite and like goes and visits his wife and he's like, conversating like, why did you leave me? Like, what is happening? It's really, really good.
I have to watch it.
Yes, it's so good. So that's definitely on the list.
I have a flight on Tuesday. I'll watch it on my flight.
That'll be fantastic. Now that we're talking about that, let's talk about Casey Anthony.
Stop.
Girl, I've already said that. Brutally honest, but I did my homework. I know when I've been outwitted.
Listen, all my family and friends, because I had asked someone for their Peacock login because I don't have a Peacock.
Right.
All my family and friends like, we're not giving you that. You're not giving her money. Blah blah blah. I was like, all right. Well, I keep seeing it on TikTok, so I'm like, I need to know. So I watched it, and I'm like, her dad's in on it.
100%.
Her dad's in on it.
100%.
Like, whether it was some type of accident and they just covered it up wrong, her dad's in on it.
100%.
Her and her dad are in on it together.
Right. Which I feel like, I went back and watched like the original documentary, right? Which I had to download Discovery, which I was like, how are all these other apps not having this old documentary? But did that, watched that documentary, and in the beginning, I sort of like brushed it off as like, oh, well, the dad was a cop, like maybe that's where sort of he got like that calmness from. But then he was like too calm.
Yeah.
Where the mom is like crying.
They went away. Who's going on a boat when your granddaughter's missing?
Right. The mom was like crying and she's like, where's the baby? Like, we need to find it. And like the dad is like, we're looking. I'm
Yeah,
like,
giving out flyers. Like, here
okay,
you go.
right. What's going on? So watching her documentary, I will say it did enlighten me because I did not know about like the affair that he
Yeah,
had,
I didn't know
which
about
I
that.
don't. That doesn't matter. But what matters is that he told
He
somebody it
confessed
was
to
an
her.
accident.
Yeah.
Right. Which, side note, who in their right minds is dating somebody and they tell you an accident has happened and the little girl had an accident and that's what happened to her, and you don't have a follow-up question?
Right. What's the accident?
Nobody is that good.
No.
Girl,
No.
what are you talking
I'm
about? I saw
running.
him crying
I'm
and
running.
I
The
had no
cops.
follow-up questions. That's what she said on the
I
in
know.
court. Because then I looked up, like, let me see her court. What did she
Well, they
say?
showed some of it in the documentary, but not
Yes.
all of it.
And then I went further down the rabbit hole. I had no follow-up questions. What are you talking about?
And I'm gonna have some pepper spray in case he tries
What
to
are
kill
you
me next.
right? What? I said, ma'am, no. Mm-mm. Thumbs down.
Yeah, is she on it too?
She didn't even break up with him then.
I know.
She only broke up with him because when they went, apparently they had some like memorial when it was her birthday, the little girl's birthday, and they like released balloons or something like that. And she was there, and he was supposed to go over to her and like I'm guessing like acknowledge her,
Yeah,
and he didn't do that.
because the wife was there.
Right. So that's why she was upset and she decided not to go with him anymore. Ma'am.
Not because he's a killer.
Right. Not because he hit a little girl's body somewhere. What
Right.
you talking about?
With duct tape.
But because he didn't hold your hand with the balloon release. Get out of here. No, ma'am. You get to jail too. Get out of here. She's horrible.
No,
Horrible person.
horrible. The whole family.
The horrible person.
All of them.
I don't understand. First off, who is the baby's father?
A rapist. That's all they said.
Ma'am, listen, you can't have your father rape you, your brother rape you,
your kid's
the party,
dad.
the party rape you. Like,
Right.
ma'am,
Right.
hold on.
And we're not victim shaming here.
Listen, I had to say that last night. I'm gonna come off as the asshole.
But we're not. But and how do you believe her when she? How do you believe her when she lied to the cops so many times while Kaylee Anthony was missing?
Right. And here she go in her documentary. She was like, well, you know, I just felt so scared to leave my baby in the house alone with him. I would always be protective of her because of the abuse and trauma I had, which, okay, but then you say you fell asleep and you never woke up.
But you were a light sleeper.
But you were a light sleeper from all this trauma.
And she didn't drown, but she was soaking wet.
But then literally like 2 minutes later, she was like, oh, I still, like 2 weeks into being in prison, really thought that he was going to reunite me with my daughter.
Okay.
He handed you the dead body.
Dead body.
What you talking about?
What, you thought
you were scared of him, but now you're like, he's the Messiah. He's going to raise her from the dead. What you talking about?
Seriously.
I thought to myself, who edited this documentary?
I don't even understand.
Who didn't catch this?
He was a cold, dead body. What do you mean? From what? The pool? How'd she get in the pool? He threw her in the pool if there was no ladder?
I don't think he threw her in.
How'd she get in?
I think chick was on drugs, which they lightly peppered over.
Right.
That she was into, you know, Xanax and all these other things.
Yeah.
And drinking and passed out, and this little kid accidentally fell into the pool
and
drowned. That's what I think.
That's a good way.
I think that the dad came home or whatever happened, and he's like, what's going on? Found the kid, gives the kid to her, and as an endearing parent, you know, not being in that scenario, I don't even know, you know, what it would take for you to not want to defend your child in a moment like that. I do believe his first instinct was, I'm going to take care of this because you're a mess.
But he
like, you're going to go to jail. Right. Whether he took care of it or she took care of it, there was an agreement between the two of them that we're not going to talk about this.
Right.
One of them took care of it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then they just shut up about it.
It wasn't dead body, it was food.
Right.
There's this
right.
different smell between dead body and rotten food.
There is, but like we talked about the other day, there's a difference between what you know and what you can prove.
True.
Using this like poppycock, like I'ma freeze the air and smell it a day later and see, like, come on, man. You can't. Don't be bringing out some trial testing, science. Like, just say, from my opinion, this is what it smelled like. I feel like that would have read better than this is what I did in my science kit and this, that, and the other, and it was dead air. Trust me. That sounds crazy.
But it's science.
And not only that, so, okay, so who's the baby's father? I feel like that's a scandal. Then you have the brother. So she was engaged to somebody.
Yeah, he was on it too. Not the baby's father.
Right. Engaged, and then they broke up.
Yep.
Like slightly before that, because that was not the boyfriend of the time.
No.
It was a different person. So she breaks up. Who knows what the reason was for them breaking up?
Right.
But she obviously was texting people months before that she had issues, like her life was not what she wanted it to be.
And I gotta interrupt. Who gets a tattoo that your life is good when your daughter is dead and missing for 31 days?
Right. So she does this thing, something happened, or she gives her too much Xanax and that's just, the kid passes out. Who knows? Because they did say something in there about like having circles under her eyes or something. Like something was going on. There was a miss. Something was afoot. So you have all these things happen. She apparently tells the ex-fiance that like the brother had raped her, right? Or like basically sexually abused her. Wasn't technically rape.
Yeah.
Never said anything about the father.
Nope.
And in his statement said, she told me later that this had happened.
Yeah.
So people are looking at the time frame that they were going out from 2006 to 2008. But that didn't mean that's when it was said.
Right.
I think this is something where she's made something up.
Yeah. To try to make it look like.
I think she's good at reading people.
Yeah.
She's
a murderer.
She's able to read people and see, what they're going to pick up on and what they're going to have sympathy with. Because I think it's also very weird that she came out, supposedly, to people that were already victims of sexual abuse.
Right.
So I would like to know, where did that conversation come from? Did she start that conversation? Or did they start it and she was like, okay, this is the person that's going to believe me because they've already said this. Right. That's interesting to me.
Same way she used, remember the one investigator from the police said that they said something to her. I forget what it was. They said something to her and she used it and ran with it as like her, what was it?
Drowning in the pool.
Oh yeah, it was drowning in the pool.
He said there's been a lot of people because they have a pool.
Right.
So he's
and
like,
it's the number
if
one
something
case of death in
happened,
kids in Florida, they said.
Right. If something has happened, let us know.
And then she used that.
So here she is saying that she is traumatized from her past, mortified and like scared of her father. But you then, go out, start partying, doing whatever. They don't know anything about you. They don't know what's going on. They're asking about the kid. Nothing's happening. You get this tattoo. You say the tattoo is not saying that your life is beautiful, but to screw over your family and say, look at my beautiful life.
Right. Also.
But you want to tell me that you were also in a trance, believing that your dad was going to reunite you? No. You can't have left and right at the same time.
Also, if she lived at home with Kaylee, where did her parents think that Kaylee was for 31 days? Where did the mom think Kaylee was?
At the boyfriend's place. Because that's where she kept going. Like, she just stayed at the boyfriend's house.
Oh.
So the only reason it started was because she left this car at the gas station or wherever because it ran out of gas, which, okay, that also tells you nobody in their right mind is doing that.
No one's
so
leaving
obviously
their
she's
car.
doing some scandalous stuff.
Right.
Some kitty box stuff. And they get notified that it was towed, and that's the only reason it even started.
Right.
Because she's like, okay, you're not at home. You done left this car in the tow lot. We had to go and get it.
You're
now it smells like whatever.
checks.
Where right. So it's like that's what caused sort
Where's
of
Kaylee?
I'm gonna call the cops right now. What's happening right here?
Right.
Because if they had never found the car, or if she had just stayed at the boyfriend's house, who knows how long it would have been.
Could have been forever.
Yeah. She'd have been like, oh, we're here at the house.
I mean, everyone's out free, so.
Right.
No one's charged with this.
So ridiculous. And she got charged with 4 counts. Like the writing the false check,
lying to the
police officers, and there was 2 other things. Charges. But she actually went back to court, and she got 2 of them removed. So they didn't even get the 4 most easiest things to stick.
Right.
Like talk
Something's
about lack of, follow through,
accountability
with the cops. You got that meter guy that called in August multiple times. They didn't do anything about that. They didn't investigate it. Like, it's ridiculous. Charges.
I want to know if she said anything to her little defense team that she's made her family about what really happened.
Side note, that's weird. Well, you saw the one lady was like, I didn't even ask her because that's traumatic.
They said it, and so did the guy. He said he wanted to be a safe space for her. So that's what I'm saying. It's been however many years,
right,
and she still hasn't told you, but she's living with you. I think that someone there knows.
That's
what
super
really
awkward.
happened.
Like, I understand you think somebody has had trauma and you want to support them, but that is not the case that's happening here.
Right.
Not at all.
And I'm not having. If my husband was for a working for some type of defense, I don't remember what the guy was, and asked to bring his client, who is being charged with murder of her child, to my house and stay there, the answer is no. She's not coming near me, you, or my kids.
Immediately no. And then how about this? What blew my mind when she was talking about that she works with this defense attorney. Imagine he's your defense attorney and you show up.
And Casey Anthony.
A child murderer is writing them side notes for you. Ma'am, what are you doing here?
Right. You're no longer my attorney.
Don't work on my case. Get out.
Clearly he's good.
Right. But get out. I don't want you in here.
Right.
You gonna muddy the waters. What you doing? She's a horrible person.
And the dad.
Yes. The dad for sure.
I actually feel bad for the mom. I feel like she's kind of a victim, a little bit. She was lied to and manipulated by both of them.
True.
And cheated on.
At the same time, like...
She lost her granddaughter and was cheated on.
When they went through the whole facet of, like, getting the boat and, like, putting... Like, she was in on that.
I mean, I guess
she was... Right. So, whether she really thought the money was just going towards something positive and didn't, worry about it or not, it was a little, like, at the end of the day, she definitely allowed herself to profit from it. Like, she had interviews and all these different things, so I don't know. She might have just forgave them after the fact. I'm pretty sure that they have told her since then.
Yeah.
Like, what happened.
I agree.
Because I do think she was honest in the beginning, like, freaking out. Like, she did not know. But at the end of the day, she definitely was, like, more somber, more like, we're okay, like, nothing's gonna happen, it's okay. I believe her, and she's gonna get off. Like, she still talks to her mom now.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. I do think it was
weird.
Yes, it's beyond weird, but it goes back to the fact that, like, people have to put things in the court system that they can actually prove.
Right.
Instead of being worried about being canceled or whatnot. Like, they have to actually say, honestly, to the public, we don't have enough evidence. So this is what we're going to charge him with. I feel like a lot of cops get off on stuff because of the same thing. They overshoot the charges. then they can't prove those things, and then they walk, and then they're like, the public's in an uprise.
Right.
You shouldn't be mad necessarily just at the cop. They shouldn't have done that. They should have known what they were doing.
Right.
Like, doesn't make any sense. But besides Casey Anthony, what else are you watching?
I just finished, I think it's a third season, In the Dark. Have you watched that?
Yes.
Oh, I love In the Dark.
It's so good.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
Murphy.
So they canceled In the Dark.
What?
They canceled it.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
In the Dark is canceled.
Is there another
girl.
season coming first?
No.
Why is it canceled?
They canceled it.
Why?
Tracy loves this one as well. I don't know. Maybe not enough people saw it or something. I found
It's so good.
her super quirky. I loved like the dynamic from everybody on the show.
Me too.
It was so good.
And every season's like you don't think anything else can happen, and then it's like boom,
Right.
something else happens.
Right. She's like our Lionel or something.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
on the spotlight.
I love
like
it.
how do you even like how are you making these things
Right.
happening? How are you getting yourself in or out of these trouble
Right.
scenarios? Loved it.
So good.
Great actress.
Everyone better watch it before it gets deleted off Netflix.
Oh man. It was good.
So good.
Yeah, but are we sure? Did you see all the seasons?
Yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah. So you saw like the death and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Wait, who's death? Which death? There's a lot of
Where
deaths.
she kills
Oh, what's his name?
right
What's his name?
in the cabin.
I hate him.
Yeah, the IRS guy
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
that also goes blind. A lot of plot twists too. I like it. It's very
Yeah.
quick to change stuff up, so I like it. It kept your attention well.
Yeah.
It was good.
I hated him.
Yeah, he was. He was a rough character. I
Like
think.
when he tipped him off when she what's it called? When her and Max, I can't believe Max died.
I know.
That killed me. When what was the IRS guy's name?
I don't remember. Let's
I
see.
can't remember. But when he tipped off the people that Murphy and Max were coming in the hotel at the event and all that, when Max got shot, that pissed me off. I hate him.
Josh Wallace.
Josh.
Josh.
I hate
What a
Josh.
perfect name for him too.
hate
What a Josh he was.
Ugh.
Ugh, this is the worst. But all of them are really good.
He's like equal to, I don't know if you watch Manifest, but he's equal
Yes.
to the Angelina of Manifest.
yes. Which I need to finish watching the new episode or the new season of Manifest.
Did they drop the second part of it yet?
No, I don't
there's
think
a second
so.
part
But I haven't
coming.
finished yet, so I'm not up to date with that because I had to stop breaking news for this Casey Anthony. Had to put
Yes.
everything on
You
pause.
had to.
Yeah. Oh, In the Dark. Ah, that was so good.
So good. I can't believe it's over. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's not like
Right.
Max
They,
is gone,
they
Josh
kind of wrote
is
it
gone.
well, kind of wrote it to the end, so it makes sense. 'Cause what else is she gonna do? She's
Yeah.
just gonna like
Kill someone else.
become life partners with the one best friend now that she
Yeah.
has. I thought it was interesting, the IRS guy, when he was like, "Oh, but I love you. I want to be with you." I was like, "Oh, I knew it. You were just too obsessed with her. You were just too obsessed with her. I knew it." Ah, horrible. That was a good show.
Yeah.
And then I heard, so today I was talking to one of our guests, and we were talking about the podcast, right? Because she's recovering from cancer, from breast cancer, and we're talking, and she told me about this show that I'm going to start watching. It's called The Casketeers. So it's from New Zealand,
Okay.
and they follow around this family that works in a funeral home.
Ooh.
So it's just like comical, like
It's
real
real
life.
or no?
Yes,
Oh.
it's real life comedy, and like the trailer is so hilarious.
What's it on?
Netflix.
I'll have to watch that.
It's so funny. So that'll be the new big thing that we'll have to watch.
Yeah.
Tying
come
up our
back
whole
with side
death
note.
theories, like bring
Yeah.
up some kind of lighter
Yeah,
death.
everything's about death.
Yes. Yes. Well, all right. Well, we're going to wrap this up for now. We'll definitely keep in touch.
Yep. Until
Get
next
back on the
time.
new shows. and talk to you soon.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes. All right, I hope this episode wasn't too dark for everyone, but it's something that we love to watch, something that I think humanity is fascinated with. And as you saw and heard, Dead to Me, really good to watch. In the Dark, and I'm gonna add to my top 20, Afterlife. It's just so raw and real and emotional. I suggest everyone to watch out and go watch that show. So we're gonna do The Crown is number one still, Handmaid's Tale is number two. I'm gonna keep Devil's Advocate as number three. We'll have Afterlife as number four and Bridgerton as number five. So go out and treasure those living memories that you have right now and seize the day. Carpe fucking diem.